Hi guys, this is Tracy. For today's project, we're going to be making a Christmas ornament out of cardstock. I'm giving you guys a bundle of 6 different designs, but I'm only going to show you today how to do one, only because I'm adding adhesive vinyl to the ornament. If you've done it before, you know that it can be kind of tricky. I'm going to be using contact paper to apply a name and a date, but I'm going to show you. These are the 6 different ornaments that you're going to be getting. Got 1, 2. Obviously you can do whatever colors you like. There's this one, that one, and this is the one that I added a name to. I'm going to show you how to contour out the top part of the ornament so that you can have a solid part to put your year on. And then the name down here, I'll show you how to put this on with adhesive vinyl. It's really easy. These ornaments are really easy to do. Most of them only have 3 layers. There's a back, a middle, and a top. This one here has got a couple extra because there are little snowflakes that I added to it. And then this one here has got extra stars on the top. But I'm going to show you how to put this one together. I'll show you how to get this all set up in Design Space, but let's go over the supplies that we're going to be using. I'm using my Cricut Explorer 2. You obviously can use whichever Cricut that you like. I've got my light grip mat. You could also use a standard grip mat depending on how sticky it is. Various colors of cardstock. I am just going to show you guys on my Design Space screen. I typed out the colors that I used for all of these. The red right here, this is an Encore cardstock, and of course I'll leave the colors and the links and all that for the supply list on the blog post. But like I said, these are the 6 that I did already. You're going to get the 6 different designs. But for this project, I'm going to be using, there's like a mirrored silver and a mirrored gold. This is kind of like a poster board kind of texture. Got some glitter, my adhesive vinyl. You could do HTV on these ornaments if you wanted to as well, but because I used a mirrored cardstock on the top and in the middle, I wanted to do adhesive vinyl. I wasn't sure how the HTV would hold up on that kind of cardstock. But if you're using, whatever you want to do, if you've never used HTV on cardstock before, I do have a couple of videos showing you how to do that. It's super easy. I just love the dimension that it adds to your projects. But like I said, we're going to be using a little piece of contact paper to apply the adhesive vinyl to the cardstock. I'll show you how to do that. Got my weeding tools. This is the glue that I'm going to be using, my favorite Barely Art Precision Craft glue. I do have some foam tape. You could use foam squares, or you could just glue it all together, whatever makes you happy. But I think that's it. Let's go ahead, get into Design Space. I'll show you how to get this set up, and then we'll get some ornaments made so you guys can have some cute Christmas ornaments for yourself. Okay, so here we are in Cricut Design Space, and this is what your SVG is going to look like when it lands on your canvas. Before we get started, I do want to point out to you guys, Design Space has been doing a lot of updates lately. So if your screen looks different than what my screen looks like, don't panic. It's not going to change the function of what we're doing. It's just they keep doing updates, so I want to make sure that I point out that if yours looks different, it's not a big deal. It's just I wanted to make sure you guys could see that it's still going to work the same. It just might look different. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and ungroup this. I am going to go ahead and work on this one today, but these are the 6 designs that you get. Let's go ahead and group this, and I'm going to hide it. Okay. So before I go any further, I don't want to forget, I'm also going to leave this on the blog post. So you will see the designs that I did, the ones that I showed you in the supplies, the 6 different ones that I cut out. These are the colors that I used. And of course, I'll leave this information on the blog post as well. But I wanted to go ahead and show you guys if you wanted to take a screenshot of that or if you wanted to save it. So if you wanted to match up the colors that I used, you could. This purple is just to my brain, I used a pattern cardstock. So that I made sure that it's purple, so when I get ready to cut it, I remember that that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, so that's out of the way. So let's go ahead and right click and ungroup this and show you the layers in here. So in the intro for the supplies, I showed you guys the one that I did already. I did a gold topper with the red. I'm going to change this around and I'm going to change my colors. I want this to be gold, and this I'm going to make like a mirrored silver, and then I'm going to do green, and then my back is actually just going to be white, and then these right here are going to be, I have a silver glitter that I'm going to use. So let's go ahead, and I don't want them to land on the same mat. That's why I'm changing the colors over here. Okay, because when I get ready to cut, the silver glitter has a different cut setting than the other cardstock that I'm using. So I want to make sure that it lands on a different mat. So for the little topper right here, I'm going to contour these holes out right here so that I can put a date on there with my adhesive vinyl. So just come down here where it says contour, and we're just going to click on the parts that we want gone. Okay, just like that. Click apply, and now they're gone. Okay, so now I'm going to add a name and a year. I'm just going to click on text, and I'm going to do my daughter's name for this one since I did mine for the other one. I'm going to come up to fonts, and this is the name of the font that I'm using now. This is a system font, meaning that this is installed to my computer. And of course, I'll leave the name and the link for this font on my blog post, but I just wanted to point out that this is a system font. So it's called Chibi Girls. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that, and this is going to change, and I'm going to duplicate this because I'm going to do the year in the same font. Obviously, you could do whichever font that you like. I just thought this one was cute. And I'm going to change these to like a cream color because that's the color that I'm using for the vinyl. Okay, so go ahead and line this back up again so I can make sure I have the correct size. Keep in mind when you go to put your vinyl on, you're going to apply it before you put these stars on. The reason being is when you put the stars on, they could overlap a little bit on top of the vinyl. So let's go ahead and bring this to the front so you can see what I'm talking about here. So when you go to glue this on, it might lay on top of it a little bit. So you want to put your name on first. Okay, we'll scale this down and see how it looks on here. There we go. But that's it. Really easy to set up. All of these ornaments are pretty much the same. Most of them have 3 layers, the back, the top, and the middle. And then of course you've got your topper right here, but this one's got an extra one because of the glitter stars. And then let me go back here and bring this up. This one here, this red one. This one has an extra one because there's little glitter snowflakes on the top of that. But they're all really easy to cut. Something that you could crank out a lot of. If you guys saw the Christmas card that I did in the last tutorial, I think this would be cute to sit inside of there. So if you're giving somebody a Christmas card and you want to give them an ornament, you could add that to it. A little personalized thing there. If you want to use them for gift tags on presents, you could do that. Now they don't all have a space for a name. He's back here. But you could definitely write something on here. You could do a hand note. You could do just custom colors. You could write a name on the back. So if you're giving these as tags on a gift, if you flip it over, you could write somebody's name on it or write a personal message. Just different things that you could do. Okay, so this is already set up. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and click on Make. Now I am using my Cricut Explorer 2. I already have that set up. So I'm going to click on Make. And then this is going to show you the different layers that you have here, or the different mats that you need for the cardstock. My first one here is white. This one I'm going to be using my favorite white cardstock. It's 110 pound. It's just really sturdy and cuts really well. This is going to be for your glitter cardstock, and then this is a mirrored one. Okay. And this is for your adhesive vinyl. All right. But this is really easy to do, guys. I want to go ahead and I'm going to click on this one here just so I can show you. This is a mirrored cardstock, but when I did my first test cut and I cut this, and I will show you when we get over to the assembly part of the video, I went ahead and I used foil poster board. That's what I'm using for this mirrored one. But when I cut it out the first time, I was having issues with these little pieces here because it's just like a paper on top of the cardstock. It was ripping. So I flipped this over and cut it upside down, and it cut 100% better. But when you do that, if you are going to flip it over and cut it upside down, make sure you click that mirror button. So now you'll know when you cut that it's going to be cutting the correct way. Okay, and then you just go through and you can pick your different materials. This is for the vinyl, so for that I use premium vinyl. And then my other ones, you just use whatever is best for you. This is the Encore cardstock, and with that one I like to use heavy cardstock with less pressure. But that's it, guys. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to get this cut out, and then I will show you how to put them all together so you guys can have some cute little ornaments too. Okay, so like I was telling you guys about flipping things over, I wanted to go ahead and show you. This design right here, when I cut this one first as my test cut, you can kind of see what happened with the cardstock here when I cut it. It was ripping. So to solve that, I went ahead and flipped my cardstock over. That's why you saw me mirror it in there. So I just wanted to show you, if you have issues and it starts to rip and it's not your blade and you know it's not your mat, that could be the issue, because this, it's fairly thin and this paper is just really just on top. So if you have that issue, go ahead and try and flip it over and see if that makes it better. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on here, and I'm going to use my brayer to put it down. Now with this cardstock, or with any cardstock, if you feel like you're not getting a good connection, things are not sticking to your mat well, you can use some painter's tape to help tape it down, because if your cardstock shifts when your machine is cutting, that can also help, well, not help, but that could also cause rips on your cardstock, because you want to have a good connection. That's why I use my brayer. I am going to get one more piece of painter's tape here, just put it right up here on top. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this cut, and then we'll get the rest of them cut, and I'll put everything together and okay, cut out my last piece. I'm going to go ahead and put my little pieces into my confetti bucket. If you guys have watched me for a while, you know I like to keep my confetti to put in cards when I send to somebody. Okay, so after I got done cutting the top piece, and I showed you that I was using the gold, I'm sorry, my brain is so gone. I cut out the gold, but I meant to do silver. So I went back and did the silver. So just want to show you that they did cut well being upside down, but I am going to do the silver one. Since the first one I did was gold, I wanted to do silver for this way. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to point that out, so in case you're like, wait a minute, that's not the one she cut when she was showing us, there must have been a mistake. No, there was no mistake. I just cut it out wrong. Wrong color. Okay, so we have our adhesive vinyl. I'm going to go ahead and weed that. If you've not worked with adhesive vinyl before, this one isn't as easy to weed as heat transfer vinyl, only for the part, let me scoot you guys in here a little bit so you can see better. Only because you have to really be careful when you pull up, because if your letter comes up, it's going to stick to everything. So you want to make sure you take your time. Just hold it down. Don't pull up this way. You want to roll it back when you're taking off the vinyl from the carrier sheet. And just go very slow. Okay. And then weed out your extra little pieces here. And then that's good to go. So for most of the ornaments that I did, I'm going to go ahead and put them up here so you guys can see them all. All in there. Like I said, most of them only have the 3 layers. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and bring out all our stuff here. All my little stars are over on the side. I don't want to move those yet because I don't want them to blow around. So for this part, this is just going to get glued together. Okay, these are going to have the foam in between here. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to put my foam on here, my foam tape. This, I don't remember if I said it in the supplies part or not, but I got this from the Dollar Tree. This is what they look like. It's a pack of 3. Very easy to work with because I like to cut down my pieces here. And very easy to do with this tape. I've mentioned it 100 times in all the other videos, but I always like to make sure I say it again. These scissors have a Teflon coating on them so that your adhesive will not stick to them. So if you're like me and you've ruined several scissors because of the adhesive, especially your little Cricut scissors, these little things here, because it sticks. This won't stick. If you guys are on my email list, the email that I sent out last week talking about the nodes, I don't know if I have, I think I actually threw them away, but one of the first ones that I cut, you can't really see it, this thing had so many nodes in it that when your machine hits it, if you're ever cutting and your machine is like, it sounds like it's going, you know, 100 cuts, that's exactly what it's doing, because somebody didn't clean up, I'm going to not say somebody, I'm going to say myself, I didn't clean up the nodes, so it just kept cutting and cutting and cutting. So I had to go back to the drawing board and redesign everything to take out the nodes so that you guys wouldn't have the issues that I was having. So that's just another layer of doing test cuts when you design something, because you want to make sure that your file is going to cut correctly for the person that you're giving it to or selling it to. So I do my best to do that for you guys, because I know how frustrating it is to waste material, or if your machine's not working, especially if you're in a hurry trying to get a bunch of stuff done, which during the holidays we all seem to wait until the last minute, because it's not like we knew Christmas was coming, right? So we wait till the last minute to get all our projects done, and you want to make sure that they're going to cut correctly. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue to the back of my adhesive strip here, and all that does is it gives me an extra second to move things around if I don't have it lined up correctly. So I'm just going to go ahead and line this up right at the bottom. Okay, so there's the first layer. Now let's go ahead and put on our adhesive here. I'm going to cut this down, and this is where I'm going to use my contact paper. If you've not used contact paper on cardstock before, you don't want to use transfer tape. It's too sticky and you have a chance of your cardstock ripping. So that's why I use contact paper. Some people use that Glad press and seal. I don't have good results with it. I don't think I'm talented enough to use it. So I gave up and went right back to my contact paper. If you go to release it and it hasn't come off yet, you might need to do a little more burnishing, a little more pressure, because contact paper is not as sticky. So you might have an issue when it comes to pulling it up, but it does come off. And I'm actually going to bring my cutting mat back over here, because it's easier to apply my vinyl when it's sticking so that it doesn't blow all over the place. So I'm just going to line this up, get it as straight as I think it needs to be, and then just push it down. And then again, roll back slowly. So that one's done. Let's go ahead and do a little topper here. You might need to push it over. Go ahead and burnish that. Didn't do that very well. This means it doesn't work with just your fingers. Just be patient. Keep working at it. It'll eventually come over. These would be cute for teachers too. You could put best teacher on there, or something personalized if you want. Go ahead and pull these off. And then this layer I'm actually just going to glue on. You could also do the foam tape if you wanted to again. Actually, before I do that, let's go ahead and add our little stars here. And I'm just going to glue these on. You could use the foam tape if you want for these as well, but I'm just going to do glue. You don't need a whole lot of glue when you're gluing onto the mirrored cardstock here, because it just seems to slide around. So less is more. And it does like to ooze out a little. Let me get a paper towel here and wipe that off. Can you see how it oozed out? And I didn't even use that much. So I'm going to wipe that off again. I like to bring my hook in sometimes and try and get off that extra. So I just let that dry and wipe off that extra glue there. Here's one. My big finger's out of the way here. I'm going to go ahead and tap that off a little bit before I put it on because I don't want it to smear out again. Okay, I'll wait for that to dry and then I'll clean it up some more. Okay, so now let's go ahead and glue this onto here. Do you guys have favorite colors for your Christmas decorations? Do you tend to gravitate towards the traditional Christmas colors, or do you guys do like more of like the pinks and the boho, tan, that kind of stuff? I'm not really particular when it comes to making crafts, but in my house, I'm more of a rustic, or as my husband calls it, dirty crafter. I like the more muted tones. Line it up at the bottom. Just like that. And then same with this one. You can glue it on, or you could do the foam squares if you want to, the foam tape. I'm just going to glue this one on. When it comes to hanging, I forgot to pull these out. I've got this wonderful baker's twine here. There's different colors, but I also have these little hooks right here. If it's something that you plan to hang on a tree, obviously an ornament needs a hanger. So we have these little hangers here. If I can get them apart. So you could just put it in like that. I think they're actually supposed to go this way, but however you like to do it. There's one. Or you could tie on a hanger. I just like to make a little loop right in the front and then push it through the front and then bring this up to the front. And now you've got a cute little Christmas ornament, or you could use it, like I said, as a gift tag if you want to write somebody's name on there. I think that would be really cute. Lots of different colors with these. Well, there you go. You get 6 ornaments in this week's download, 6 different designs. You can find the freebie in the freebie library. It is design number 264, I believe. If that's wrong, I'll leave the number on the screen here, but I think that's right. Find all the supplies that I use, the information, the name of the font, the link to where you can find it on the blog post. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment, subscribe if you're new. I love having new crafty friends, and the interaction really helps. The YouTube algorithm pushes my video out more so more people can see it, which makes me happy and makes me motivated, so I want to keep making more videos for you. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Until next time, have a wonderful day on purpose.